off a daily fantasy. His number too high, then I'm probably fading him. He been on the road, he gon' eat up my salary. I hit up, he gon' lie before lock. Play back to back, then I probably won't pick on the DFS Bachelor, good as it gets. Build a few liners and hit me a leg. He had a good game, but it might be a trick. Log in the Slack so I know who to pick. Sharing our liners, we all gon' get rich. New to this game, you should come to the pad. You might want some cash and get a good laugh. DFS Sports, we gon' run up a bag. He heard every game and it's making me mad. You buying your lineups, I think you a cheater. DFS Bachelor, he the new leader, yeah.
What's up, everyone? Happy Saturday night. Welcome back to the Bachelor Pad. I, of course, am your host of Dfs Bachelor, and we're going to go over our FanDuel and Draftkings, mostly Draftkings, really. You can take the news for FanDuel however you want. NFL Showdown slate for Sunday night. The Rams hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Thought it's an interesting game, and I didn't get as much NFL content out this week as I wanted to, so I thought, hey, you know, my UFC bets went to shit. Friends don't let friends bet on Roosevelt Roberts. I think that's what we've learned. So let's throw down a showdown slate for Sunday night, just in case, you know, shit all goes down the toilet Sunday afternoon and we need something to bail us out and have some fun Sunday night. So we're going to go over the showdown slate for that. First things first, a big cheers to you all, really. Thank you all so much for all your support. Let's have a drink. I really appreciate all the kind words. I appreciate you all liking the video. That helps the channel more than you know. Subscribing to the channel for those of you who are new, if you're so inclined to do so, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate all of that. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section. Be part of our PayPal giveaway. Our $25 winner will be announced on Monday. We announced the winner for the $50 PayPal giveaway, sponsored by our friends over at Tax Relief Advocates. In our final look video, be sure to check that out. We cover wide receiver, cornerback matchups, everything else you could think of for the main slate for Sunday morning for week 1, Sunday afternoon, depending on your part of the country, I suppose. So be sure to check all that out. As usual, I'll have my player pool, research tools. You can use it in the lineup optimizer, etc. You can get access to my player pool for all the FanDuel and DraftKings slates using the lineup optimizer, mass lineup generator, etc. by clicking that link in the video description below. You can try Draft Dashboard for 30 days for $1. I've got my player pool set for NBA, baseball, everything else, projections, the whole 9 yards. So that's all there for you. Don't forget to check out my friends over at Overlay DFS. They have a lot of cool stuff going on tomorrow as well for the first Sunday in the NFL. And of course, overlaydfs.com, by the way. Ask them about their first deposit bonus, their slump buster bonus. If you don't cash 20 straight progressive slates, they hook you up and give you your entry fees back. Great group of people over there at Overlay DFS. And if you want to ask some questions tomorrow morning before lock, I will be over. You see the logo in the back. I'm getting prepared for that now as we speak. We will be live over at Sportsbook Review. I'll have a link to that channel in the video description. You can click there and you'll find me live at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern tomorrow morning, answering all your questions, going over all the best sports NFL bets for the day, the spreads, everything else. So come over there and support that as well. I think I covered everything. I'm sure I forgot something, but who cares? It's Saturday night and we're going over the Sunday showdown. So as usual, it depends what kind of games you're playing with this. Now, if I'm playing a showdown, I'm not generally playing 50-50s. Once in a while, I'll do some 5-mans or something so you can use some salary there. But if you're playing the tournament, you're going for the big money, you're going for the gusto, you need to make sure you leave salary on the table. Try to do something different. Look for something weird that might happen that can differentiate yourself from the rest of the field. 70, 80, sometimes even more percent of players feel inclined to use all of their salary. So just leaving a little bit on the table in those tournaments differentiates you from a ton of players. And if your lineup goes off, then you're not tying with everybody else, right? So let's start at quarterback. So we got Dak Prescott at 10-8 on DraftKings, Jared Goff at 9-4. I actually prefer Jared Goff right now. Both teams were pretty good against the pass last year. The Cowboys lost their best corner in Byron Jones. The Rams lost their nickel corner, slot corner, no pun intended, nickel Roby Coleman, who is a terrific nickel corner. But I do think the Rams have the better secondary, and I also think that the Cowboys' way to winning this game is taking advantage of a depleted, not experienced, not really replenished linebacking core for the Rams. They have a terrific secondary. Obviously, Jalen Ramsey just signed a big deal. He's going to be a part of that organization for a long time. I think the Cowboys have a more stable running game, making the Rams have to throw the football more. So right now, I prefer Jared Goff, and something to keep an eye on in this game. And if some of you are watching this before Sunday afternoon, watching out for the air quality in LA and in San Francisco. There's some players that could affect. The game could actually be moved to Monday night. Now, I'm about 4 hours away from the Bay Area. The smoke has been absolutely dreadful. It's starting to clear up a little bit right now as I speak. So that is something to certainly keep an eye on. We're going to proceed as if this game is going to go off as scheduled, which I think it will. The air has to be pretty bad. It has to be a 200, which is that's worse than it even was today, and I couldn't see the mountain 2 miles away. So just to kind of give you an indication of how that all works. I'm certainly going to have some exposure to Dak Prescott if I'm making multiple lineups. He certainly has the upside. I just think the Rams have to throw the football a little bit more to stay in this game, and I think Zeke Elliott is the path to victory for the Cowboys, but I'll have exposure to both. But right now, I prefer Jared Goff. I'm not big on putting, especially on DraftKings, where the two sites are different. You need 1.5. When you play your captain spot on DraftKings, not only does the player get 1.5 times salary, but they also cost you 1.5. They get 1.5 times the points, but they cost you 1.5 times the salary. So, it's a little bit harder to fit in all of those players. There you go, title of your sex tape. Let's get that out early. Let's get that done. So, quarterbacks, I believe they were in the winning lineup last year in DraftKings Showdowns 21% of the time. So they're not highly owned in that captain spot in terms of winners. I prefer the PPR upside for running backs and wide receivers. So that's where I try to focus, especially when I'm looking for value. Can you throw them in? Could it happen? Sure. But right now, there's supplemental pieces adding on to my captain spots, etc. So they're both in play. But right now, I think, prefer Jared Goff slightly. I know that seems weird. At running back, love Zeke Elliott. 10-4 on DraftKings. He's going to be a part of that passing game. Last year was his most effective receiving season as a running back. The year before, he was pretty good as well. He put up a 34 in that Week 15 game against the Rams last year. And again, the Rams lost Corey Middleton and did nothing to replace him. So they have all of these great players up front, and Aaron Donald. And in the secondary, you've got Troy Hill and Jalen Ramsey, etc. I think the key to victory is through Ezekiel Elliott. Can they make the tackle? Again, these teams haven't been practicing tackling all that much. They had no preseason to work on it. So I do think that Zeke Elliott is a terrific play. If you can fit him in your captain spot, absolutely. Then let's get to the Rams running game. What the hell is going to happen with this fucking running game? And, of course, their little douchey coach, Sean McVay, who I think is a great coach, but, we kind of saw that he's kind of a weirdo on Hard Knocks, did we not? I mean, pretty sure we saw that. They're being pretty tight-lipped about how this is going to go. Now, I will say this. Darrell Henderson Jr. has been a full participant in practice 3 days straight, so he's going to be active. So this is going to be by committee. They have the rookie out of Florida State, Cam Akers. They have Malcolm Brown, who's been with the team and I believe has some goal line upside. I like Malcolm Brown at 4,800. Then you got Cam Akers at 6,800. It feels like they're going to use Akers and Brown as their main two backs and then a change of pace, maybe on some passing downs, depending on how Akers is doing Darrell Henderson. And that's where we're at. I don't love either. If I'm going to play a backup running back, I'm going to take a long dart throw shot on Zeke hurting his ankle maybe or something. And I'll throw in some Tony Pollard if I'm trying to be super contrarian. But I'm not in a huge rush to get these Rams running backs in. They certainly have the upside because we just don't know. You feel like it's going to be the hot hand, right? So if Cam Akers just gets rolling, catches a 30-yard touchdown out of the backfield, is breaking tackles, then he's going to be in the game. If he's struggling, you might see more Malcolm Brown. So playing multiple lineups, have exposure to both. Again, I'm very tepid on that. I think we can find some value at wide receiver where we don't have to jam them all in. The one must play, of course, this is not hashtag master analysis, is Zeke Elliott. I mean, it's fucking obvious, right? Let's go to wide receivers. We'll go over the wide receiver cornerback matchups for this game as well. So the most expensive, $9K on DraftKings here, is Amari Cooper. He had a 3 and 2 targets that last game out against the Rams. And here's the bottom line. He's going to be shadowed by Jalen Ramsey, right? I mean, we know what's going to happen. Jalen Ramsey is a fantastic corner, gave up 0.28 fantasy points per route ran against. The real weakness for the Rams secondary, and again, there's a lot of raves coming out for Darius Williams right now, who's replacing Nickel Roby-Coleman in the slot, but that's where CeeDee Lamb's going to line up. Michael Gallup and Amari Cooper lined up on the outside last year, 87 and 86% of the time. That's right. So Amari Cooper was only in the slot 14% of the time. Michael Gallup only 13% of the time. So it's CeeDee Lamb in the slot. He's matched up against Jordan Lewis and even against Darius Williams. And we don't know what we're going to get for Darius Williams. So even though he's a rookie, even though he's the number 3 receiver, I think the best value in terms of Cowboys receivers is CeeDee Lamb, just based on the matchup. Mike McCarthy's last season in Green Bay, he ran 3 wide receiver sets on 76% of his offensive plays. So CeeDee Lamb's going to be on the field. So I like the matchup better there. Troy Hill on the other side against Gallup was very good last year as a very, very capable number 2 corner. He allowed 0.29 fantasy points per route ran against. In contrast, Darius Williams in his limited time in the slot allowed 0.45 fantasy points per route ran against. So, of course, if you're playing like 100 lineups, you want to sprinkle in the upside of Cooper and Gallup. If I'm playing like a single entry or anything else, I'm leaning towards CeeDee Lamb, the rookie, because that's where the advantage is. Cooper Kupp. I like Cooper Kupp a lot. You expect him to regress a little bit from those touchdown numbers he had a year ago in that Week 15 game against Dallas last year. He put up a 16. Remember, Cooper Kupp lines up in the slot a ton. 65% of his routes are ran from the slot. And then the question is it going to be Josh Reynolds or Van Jefferson who get the number 3 job? I'm going to have slight exposure to both. I think Van Jefferson at 1,600 is one of those low-priced, boom or bust type plays. If it goes your way, like if Demarcus Robinson makes that touchdown catch, it goes your way in that Chiefs game. If that sort of thing happens, it works out. Right now, the receiver I like the most is Cooper Kupp in the slot. He's supposed to draw the Jordan Lewis slot defense. Last year, Jordan Lewis gave up 0.440 fantasy points per route ran against. Well, Jordan Lewis looks like he's going to be banged up, so Anthony Brown might step in, who was actually pretty good last year. Gave up 0.19. You're going to be looking at Chidobe Awuzie, who practiced in full. Trayvon Diggs, who's the young kid who's replacing Byron Jones. And then Anthony Brown. I actually think the Rams wide receivers, Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp, are both terrific plays tomorrow. I like the Rams passing game and the Cowboys running game. That's what I like for tomorrow as I sit right now. Again, Van Jefferson could be one of those super low price 1,600 type players who, could be the difference in being all by yourself at the top of a tournament with some crazy game. I think we covered all the matchups and what they gave up. Yep, we covered the wide receiver cornerback matchups. Let's move on to the tight end, Pink Eye Central, shall we? So Tyler Higbee's the most expensive tight end. He's 7,200 on DraftKings. He had a massive stretch at the end of the year last year. He was my streaming tight end. I picked him up off the waiver wire, and he was absolutely phenomenal. 5 straight games of 22 or more, including a 26 against this Dallas team, who was 26th in the league last year against opposing tight ends. Now, that all happened without Gerald Everett on the field. So Gerald Everett should be healthy. I still think Tyler Higbee is the one they want to go to. They paid him a ton of money. They also paid Gerald Everett. It's not like they didn't play both of these tight ends. So Gerald Everett sitting there at 1,000 on DraftKings, I mean, it's not outside of the realm of possibility. Play fake, 2 tight ends, red zone, boom, Gerald Everett. He was the starting tight end over Higbee till he got hurt. So both of these tight ends are going to be involved. I like them both. But my contrarian crazy self in tournaments, I'm going to sprinkle in some Gerald Everett. And if you're looking for a guy under 1,000, we don't know who the backup tight end to Blake Jarwin is going to be for Dallas. It looks like it's going to be Blake Bell, the free agent signing from Kansas City last year. It could also be Dalton Schultz, but there's 600 and 200. Like, if you're desperate, if you're playing a bunch of lineups and you're like, I'm just trying to sprinkle in some of these crazy, white guy from Ohio who catches 2 touchdowns and ruins the whole fucking Showdown slate, which happens all the damn time, by the way. Blake Bell and Dalton Schultz, I think, are the way, and Gerald Everett, too. There's some backup tight end value there. one of them is going to exceed value tomorrow, so I'm going to have a little bit of exposure to all of them. I'm not sure how much Blake Jarwin I'll have. Now, we talked about the tough matchup on the outside, so he could be interesting. But again, I might just seek some of that value. I mean, he's 6'2". I'll try to find the extra 1,000 for Higbee, I guess, if I'm trying to force that in. Some slight exposure, but again, taking a chance on some of these lower-owned players in tournaments, rather, is a good way to go. And I think even in cash games, all Gerald Everett needs is, like 2 catches for 25 yards, and he's hit 4.5 times value at his 1,000 price in a showdown slate. That's the equivalent of Tyler Higbee hitting, in terms of value. If he hit 4.5 times, he'd be at 30. So why the fuck not, right? Scared money doesn't make money, folks. All right, let's go to kickers. Both kickers are in play. A little revenge narrative for Greg Zuerlein, if you will. He's been the Rams kicker for a long time. He now comes into the Rams' new stadium. Hopefully not all over it. Okay, into it. Against his former team as the Dallas kicker. He's 4-2. Yeah, I could see some inefficiencies in the red zone if the coverage is there and Zeke's unable to break a tackle or two. And then you got Samuel Sloman at 4K. They're salary savers that are going to, get some points. Where I like to play kickers is when they do those little quarter, 1 quarter fastball games, whatever the hell they call it. And it's, the end of the third quarter. We're heading into the fourth, and they're lining up for a 48-yard field goal, but time expires. Then you can throw your kicker in as the captain, and boom, you're getting a quick, 6 points. You're getting a touchdown, just if he makes the kick. So that's kind of the way I would go on that. And then defensively, this is the real question. They're 3-8 and 3K. These are 2 good offenses, solid defenses. I do think Dallas's defense has regressed a little in terms of their passing defense, their secondary, and the Rams have regressed in terms of their linebacking core. But they're both solid. I think right now, if I'm picking this game, I was leaning Dallas. I'm going more and more towards the Rams because I do not trust Mike McCarthy to do anything right. I think he's a fucking terrible coach. I think he's ask Aaron Rodgers, the lowest IQ coach he's ever played for, Mike McCarthy. So that's all you got to know. I might sprinkle in some, the last time they played, it was a 4 and a -4. I don't have a ton of interest there. I think you can get better value with the kickers and some of those, everything else. And again, you're going to see the douches who put the defenses in their captain spot, and they'll start out in first place, and you'll think, oh, crap, I'm losing. No, you're not. It's just a bunch of idiots who put the defenses in. Now, they could be rusty, and the Cowboys, Jared Goff has shown some inconsistencies, etc., so the Cowboys could certainly be in play. The big place, the Rams defense is always in play because of Aaron Donald, and he can, a strip sack, fumble, return for a touchdown is all you need at 3K. So, sprinkle them in as you see fit. So that's our look at the Sunday Night Showdown. Again, you can get access to my player pool for the main slate, the late slate, the Monday Night Football slate. We'll have that video tomorrow night before Monday for NBA, baseball, everything else, all the research tools, just everything you can need on one screen. Click that link in the video description below. You can try Draft Dashboard 30 days for $1. I also have my top wide receiver cornerback matchups, my worst wide receiver cornerback matchups, my top 10 rankings for all the positions from PPR rankings. All of that is there on the home screen. You can find all of that there. Also, don't forget, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, I'll be live over at Sportsbook Review. You see the logo back there. That link will be in the video description below as well. I have links to the music from Young Ali, the awesome artist who did the intro show for us, so be sure to check that out. My friends over at Overlay DFS, overlaydfs.com, at Overlay DFS on Twitter, and our friends who did the $50 giveaway this last week who can get all your tax things fixed out. Check out Tax Review, Tax Relief Advocates as well. So much to get in there. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. Cheers to you all. Thank you all so much for everything. We'll see you tomorrow. Our final look video's up. Not too late. Get in there. Check out the 12-game main slate. Everything broken down there as well. May the fantasy gods be with you all tomorrow. NFL is back, baby. Big cheers to everyone. Let's go. Let's have a great day tomorrow. Goodbye, folks.